Holy Spirit, one God.
Amen.
O Lord, thou shalt open my lips, and my mouth shall declare thy praise. Good morning.
Good morning.
I must admit, sometimes it's very difficult to be humble. You heard that before? It is hard to be humble. Probably one of the most difficult challenges any Christian has, and the most needed thing, is humility. We talk about it a lot, but inevitably we lack it most, and it's difficult to get. It was very disappointing to have your favorite stars, what's supposed to be the most spiritual, to turn out the way James and John did, at least in the language they had, in the conversation they had with our Lord's on his way to Jerusalem. As our Lord began his journey to Jerusalem, his final trip to the city of God, and he began to tell them what was about to happen to him. Just like what we said before, they really never got it. They never understood the complexity and the prophecy that Jesus often referred to himself, the cross. And I'm going to be on the cross, and you must carry your own cross, like I'm going to carry my cross, and I will give my life. And if you don't give your life will not amount to anything. Unless the seed fall into the ground and dies, you will not have fruit. You will not have growth. Jesus said it so repeatedly, telling people that he is going to be crucified and die. And guess what? They did not get it. He took those who understood him the most. James and John and Peter with him on Mount Tabor. And they were so spiritual that he knew that they understood greater than the other disciples and apostles. So he took them with him, and they saw the uncreated light. They saw that vision of God in a very physical, invisible way. And then the two of them, when Jesus was talking about his last word and testament, you know, you write your last word and testament when you know you're leaving. And then they understood there got to be a leader, someone to take over whatever our Lord was trying to establish. Maybe in their mind, they understood, and they were wanting to perhaps take care of the kingdom of Israel. After all, they were typical Jews. They understood the Messiah was coming in a way to restore Israel. And Jesus was about to restore Israel. But which Israel he was about to restore? It was not the physical and the political system of Israel, but the divine Israel. The Israel of God, the Jerusalem of paradise in the kingdom of heaven. That's what Jesus came to do. When they understood in a political sense. Now, James and John talked to their mother. They knew there was a special connection between Salome and between Christ. Salome was Jesus' stepbrother, so they were connected. She was the daughter of Joseph from a previous marriage. And they said, well, Maybe mom will talk to him. She said, why don't you put one of them on the right and one on the left? It means position of leadership. So many of us want to become leaders. So many of us want to get ahead. And that's a good thing, to want to get ahead. It's a good thing to make an impact in your society and in your culture and in your community. It's wonderful to be wanting to leave an impact and leave a legacy behind you. But how does that work with the concept of humility? The first thing that Jesus responded to his sister, his stepsister, and to his nephews. He said, humility is what we need. Not about what am I going to become? How am I going to be a leader? And he said, the cup that I am about to drink, you can't drink. What I'm going to, you say, if you want to follow me and you want to take after me, you have to drink from the same chalice. And that is the chalice of sacrifice. The chalice of sacrifice is not about giving from someone else to another. The chalice of sacrifice is about giving of oneself to others. But I think John, in the way he turned out, he understood. He got it. And maybe this dialogue helped contribute to his fuller understanding of who Christ was. You know, on the cross, when he was crucified, all of his disciples left him. All of them left him. Peter denied him 3 times. Judas sold him out for a price. But John and his mother and his brother and the Blessed Virgin Mary and Mary Magdalene, the myrrh-bearing women, were there. All members of St. Macrinas were there. All the women were there. This is why I love St. Macrinas. St. Macrina has a special spot in my heart. Who comes to the lamentation? Who comes to the burial? Who comes to the death? Who sees every drop of blood coming down of his precious body? John, James, Mary, Salome, Mary, and Susanna, and all the women. You know who has leadership in a church? Women. They really do. Not because they say, we're boss, we're leaders. They don't say that. But who carries the responsibility of caring for God's house like they do? Women. His followers. Never asked for a position. They were humble. With humility comes loyalty and love. There is no humility without those two significant components.